Well, good morning, all of you beautiful love streamers out there on Facebook, YouTube, and Zoom. And those of you that are live at the Loom, welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte. This is your first time here. We are thrilled that you've chosen to join us today. And with modern technology, we are so grateful for the opportunity to touch so many lives, especially through Zoom and Facebook. And today we're going to share some of the wonderful things that are happening here at CSL Charlotte. So please feel free to visit our website, cslcharlotte.org, and put in a prayer request there. You can also subscribe so that you can stay in touch with all the great things that are happening here. We also add the recordings for every Sunday service to that website. So if you happen to miss a service, you can catch it there. Now, let me tell you a little bit more about us. The Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte is a new thought community living an ancient wisdom philosophy that's based on the science of mind. The science of mind was developed in the early 20th century by writer, lecturer, and philosopher Dr. Ernest Holmes. He was a man on a mission, and he loved studying the truths from all the world's religions and traditions and spiritual paths. He developed a fresh new way for us to look at ourselves and how we fit into our world. At Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte, every philosophy is honored, along with every race, every sexual orientation, and every physical distinction. We are a diverse, open, and affirmative community. We know that there are many paths to the divine. We can call it God, peace, love, the universe, spirit, infinite mind, nature, the I am presence. The truth is, it doesn't matter what you call it. What matters is that you have that personal relationship with it, that relationship with the power that resonates within you. You don't have to leave your current philosophy or the nature of knowledge that you grew up with. You can join us anytime. Everyone is welcome here. We recognize and we refer to the Holy Scriptures, many of them, the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, the Upanishads, and the Bhagavad Gita, just to name a few. So our vision statement is to continue a spiritual community, creating and preparing a succession of future leaders, leaders who can fully integrate and teach and expose these principles, messages, and practices that strengthen the mind, the body, and the spirit of individuals. One of our aims is to create a high collective consciousness for everyone in this community. And we teach the tools to do just that. We do that on Sunday mornings and also on Tuesday evenings at 6 p.m. Eastern, when we have a consciousness meeting, and we welcome you and invite you to join us for that. So once again, I'd like to welcome everyone to our service this morning and invite you to sit back and enjoy the service as we celebrate this powerful being, this powerful presence that lives within every one of us. And so now it's my great pleasure to pass the mic over to our illustrious leader and my dear friend, Reverend Rosedale Jones.
Awesome. Yay. So thank you so much, Reverend Catherine. And thank you for speaking for us last week. Love you very much and love you dearly. And you're marvelous. You're fantastic. Are you smiling right now, Reverend Catherine? Because I love the way you smile when you're talking and everything. So anyway, everybody, that was Reverend Catherine. And that is one of my dear, dear friends from Charlotte, from San Diego. Well, actually Carlsbad in California. So anyway, to all of our YouTube listeners and our virtual community and everybody everywhere, welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte, the Mind, Body, and Spirit Center. Good. So the first thing we do in our community is we open up our Sunday celebration with an affirmative prayer. And with the affirmative prayer comes that power, that beautiful voice of another person speaking from their spirit to ours. So since we're all about the journey of spiritual awakening today, our first person on the platform, besides Reverend Catherine, is our person who opened us up. And that is my awesome sister and friend, Reverend Karen. Now, what I know is that Reverend Karen, wherever she is right now, is on her spiritual journey of awakening, and it's all a fantastic thing. I'm actually very proud to call her my friend and sister because actually she is on her own spiritual journey, and I am, and each and every one of us are. So here's what I want you to know. If you want a prayer to open yourself up to the spiritual journey, awakening journey, then go to our website right now and say, I would like to experience the journey of spiritual awakening. Because you put that prayer request in so that you can get an email into your inbox inviting you to read that prayer as often as you want so that you can actually feel that. But here's the thing. You have to choose to put in a prayer request to get that prayer back into your inbox. So that being said, welcome Reverend Karen as she brings us her beautiful words in an affirmative prayer.
Oh, thank you, Sister Reverend Rosedale. I love you so much. And it's such an honor to be able to pray this group in today for this beautiful service on the journey to spiritual awakening, and whether we take that journey as a collective or we take it individually. And usually we do both. We are with a group or we're by ourselves, or we're with a group and we're by ourselves. So the journey to spiritual awakening. As I go into this prayer, each and every one of us join as one heart, one mind, one spirit within the one heart of the beautiful creator of all life, spirit, God, the great I am, whatever we call it. It is our creator. It is the creator of all life on all levels and in all forms. And knowing that as we go into this service today with Reverend Rosedale, that she delivers the most beautiful message as she always does, because she is a wonderful, clear vessel through which God expresses itself beautifully, uniquely, and powerfully. And knowing this and being so grateful for this service today, please join me as I release this prayer into the universal law, knowing that we are manifesting our individual, beautiful spiritual journeys every moment of our lives, and together in gratitude for all of that, for taking this journey, we say together, and so it is.
Well, thank you so much, Reverend Catherine. Karen, Catherine, all sound alike to me. So that said, next on our platform is our reader, Melissa Spiegler, also AKA SoCal Melly. So if you open up to her reading, then you're in for a real treat. And that's really true because, Melissa is one of the people who loaned me her ear, her spiritual ear, as we did visioning together in the very beginnings of CSL Charlotte. And that was before everyone has joined this wonderful spiritual awakening together. So after Melissa's reading, listen to the song called God Is by Faith Rivera. Now, God is what the journey of spiritual awakening is all about. So, Melissa, make it do what it do.
Thank you so much, Reverend Rosedale. And awakening. And this morning, my reading will be by Eckhart Tolle and his book, Awakening in the Now. Oh, yes. You are a human being. These two words not only describe who you are as a member of a particular species, but if examined more deeply, also point to the twofold nature of your identity. Human is who you are on the level of form, that is to say, your body and mind. Being, on the other hand, points to the essence of who you are as timeless, formless, and unconditioned consciousness. Human and being, form and essence, are ultimately not separate. Being, or pure consciousness, emanates from the universal source of all life. Your consciousness emanates from the source, so you can never be separate from it, just as a ray of sunlight cannot be separate from the sun, but always remains connected with it. It is the intelligence guiding the evolution of what we perceive as the physical universe. So, the universe, including human beings, was not just created in the distant past, but is still in the process of being created. It's a work in progress. The evolution behind the process is the growth of consciousness, and the main life purpose for all human beings is to come into alignment with that universal purpose. Seen from a higher perspective, all that exists is already in alignment with it, even if it seems to be opposed to that purpose, but it is aligned only unconsciously. What does it really mean for human beings at their current evolutionary stage to become more conscious or to awaken? When you realize that the voice in your head is not who you are, then you have begun to awaken. A new dimension of consciousness has arisen, which we could call awareness, presence, or wakefulness. Your sense of self shifts from identification with your mental narratives to the alive presence within you, which is consciousness itself. You realize your identity as unconditioned consciousness itself. Challenges are the lifeblood of all evolution. Every life form, from plants to animals to humans, evolves as the response to challenges it encounters. Your comfort zone is not most likely place where you're going to find spiritual awakening, although the ego may tell you otherwise. If you look to the world of people, places, things, or circumstances for fulfillment or happiness, you will be disappointed again and again. Instead, allow the world to make you conscious. You may find that every challenge, every obstacle that life seems to put in your path is an opportunity for awakening, for becoming present, or for deepening your state of presence. Many challenges you encounter, whether of a personal or collective nature, will have been created by human unconsciousness, either your own or that of other people. Every seeming obstacle to your happiness or fulfillment is a potential portal into presence. Your life is not determined by what happens to you, but by how you respond to that happening. Bring your light of consciousness to everything you encounter in your life's path, every problem, every situation, every experience. And so it is.
Beautiful. Let's take a nice deep breath for 2 minutes centering, maybe a half a minute, maybe a minute and a half. I don't know, but we'll see. Relax your eyes and just relax it enough to make sure there are no distractions around you whatsoever. And make sure that it's your choice to close them or look down into your lap. Now breathe in really deeply and really long. I know you've been breathing shallowly all night and all day so far. And then slowly exhale out. And as you are awakening right now and coming back into you, know that you and God is in the same place all the time. We're going to be talking about this inner conversation, which is our inner consciousness, constantly talking 24/7. But when you're talking and you say God, just remember it's you who you're talking to. It's you who are looking at you. So the journey of spiritual awakening manifests as what God is, which is freedom, which is peace, which is ease, which is all the wonderful things that you can possibly dream of. So if you really want to know who and what God is, you're going to need to begin the journey of spiritual awakening starting today. You're at choice though, whether you choose to incorporate spiritual practices or if you just basically want to experience great transformations through the journey of spiritual awakening, it's all up to you. So, wiggle your fingers and your toes, integrate your mind, body, and spirit. And as you float your eyes open, look around the space again and ask yourself, where am I? Where is God? The answers are always in you. So before we go further with this beautiful spiritual journey of awakening, let's me first give into my gratitude moment and thank you, Reverend Catherine, for always being here every single time you can. Thank you for speaking last week. It was just fabulous. And thank you for being our MC today. And thank you, Reverend Karen, got it right this time, for your incredible opening prayer. And thank you, Melissa, for that reading that you read, because your reading of Eckhart Tolle's Awakening into Now truly points the way to the journey of spiritual awakening. So now think about our talk topic. The journey of spiritual awakening means that we're starting a profound, transformative set of connections with our inner universe. Now, we are constantly having inner universal conversations. That's how we transform, either that way or this way, depending on what side of the track you decide you're going to be in every day. In our universal conversations, that's how we discover the brilliant essence of our authentic selves. But see, here's what the deal is. As individuals, we carry a deep-seated duality that really shapes our very being. There is a deep-seated duality that I'm referring to today. I like the word, that's why I'm choosing it. But I'm referring to that today as this 24/7 inner universal conversation that you constantly have, whether you pay attention to it or not. See, Melissa kind of brought that up when she talked about the terms human and being, because to me, human and being beautifully comes to life as a compound magnitude of our identity. And so in Melissa's reading, she said human and being and form and essence isn't separate. We're all of that. We're formless, we are form. We are in, we are out. We are all of that. But we were programmed to think we were what everyone else wanted us to be externally. So skip what you learned. Unlearn. So these terms that we're talking about, they mirror each other as far as tangible and intangible facets of our existence. That's all it is. Human being of marvelous facets. I love the word, but I don't say it. I don't feel so grounded with it, but it's okay. So it is important to acknowledge that part of being a human has the aspect of an ego. So that's right. Part of our human aspect is the ego. So pay attention to your universal conversations, because you are the one that are holding those conversations. The ego likes to act as a subtle manipulator. But it's good to have that, because it'll keep you from walking out in the middle of the street or walking over the edge of the cliff. The ego influences our thoughts and emotions without our conscious awareness. Let me just tell you, if you are constantly thinking that because you don't hear anything, that everything is all well, no, things are always going on. You're just not, what's that word? Paying attention. So it's influencing you without your conscious awareness. Have you ever felt blue for no reason? Because you and the ego were in there having a conversation, and then you didn't even realize. That's why it's so important to understand. Listen, the ego seeks the approval of people outside of us. And it's a beautiful thing to have the ego. So don't think, oh God, I got an ego. No. You see what it is it likes to, how am I looking? You know, it's got to go into what societal norms say. It's got to deal with what cultural expectations is. It's got to deal with, well, you know what, we, in this neighborhood, this is how we do things. Many people don't even take the time to consider their own spiritual perspective during these inner universal conversations. See, if you ignore the journey of spiritual awakening, it's really hard to really actually know your own spiritual perspective, because the ego is going chaotic in there because you are not paying attention. But now, don't think it is you, and I'm like, you know, scolding, but it's just how emotional I get when I think about how we are all in charge. So here's the truth. Many people also, what they do is mistakenly believe that the ego is a part of my characteristic. When they say things like, well, that's not how I do it. That's just the way I am. Stop. Because you're not even giving your own spiritual self giving your own self a spiritual perspective that helps you grow, that helps you transform. You're only wanting to hold on to your limitations. When somebody says, well, you shouldn't burp at the table, you probably say something like, well, that's how I do it. Well, that's not the characteristic you want to be, is it? Think about it. When we're open to embracing a spiritual awakening, you know what we're doing? We are having a ton of inner universal conversations going on right that moment. I'm telling you, I know, because I've been in this practice for so many years, and I found out that these conversations call me, and they call me to rise above my ego. They call me to say to a person, you know, I apologize for that. They call me to tell a person it's okay, because they don't have to do what I want them to do. It calls me to tell a person, guess what? I love you. Without even them to say it back to me. The ego wants you to, well, you got to say it back to me, or you got to be this. No, people don't have to be anything. Spiritual practice helps us to get out of that, though. I know we throw the word spiritual practice out. You know, spiritual practice has a power of unlocking the power inside of us, right? It's that inner spirit. So if you're talking to God, which God, where are you talking to God at? I'm just asking you for you. I already know my answer. See, spiritual practice helps me to grow because I stay it all the time in it. It helps me to grow as a person, to connect with my higher self. It also helps me enhance my life. I heard the team here earlier talking about what happens when they wake up in the morning. I think I heard some part of a conversation, but I was eavesdropping. But I know one thing. If I don't wake up and know exactly what day it is or whatever, I have to stay right there until I understand. Is today Monday? Well, what are you planning? Because that is how I'm going to know. You can't just run by the seat of your pants. Spiritual practice have to be first in the morning. And one of them is, where am I and where am I going? That's the simplest thing you could ask. Spiritual practice sounds like a big deal, right? No, you could just ask yourself a simple question. Spiritual practices enhance all these inner universal conversations within us. They release some more powerful insights. What I'm trying to say is that when I wake up, I got to get some insight first before I get out of that bed. I ain't touching the floor. I want to know, and I will not move. That's a practice that we've just got to make it as a habit. So I said, So the first thing you want to do today is get the talk for Sunday, whatever. And after you get the talk, make sure you call your class and tell them your comment or whatever it is I got to do. Now I'm up. I know where I'm going and I know what I'm doing. All of that comes from my inner universal conversations. Now, just realize that when I keep throwing spiritual practices out there, that they promote really unwavering connections in my mind, my body, and my spirit. Things like meditation, affirmative prayer, journaling. Oh, and how about this? I would say that this is important when the mind, body, spirit connection. Good nutrition. Exercise. If those things are not being done, oh boy. And by the way, it's really, really crucial that we all get rid of the misconceptions that we have about meditation. Meditation is a big practice. It's big. Listen to me. If you are sitting there and you go off and you glaze over, you're in meditation, but you're doing it unconsciously. So why not do meditation consciously? You might be under the impression that it requires you to be in a Zen state for hours. No, listen, you are constantly meditating all day long, but you do it unconsciously for so much because you allowed yourself to be programmed and stay that way. Your paradigms will never break because you have been misleading yourself. So the belief is that we have been misled so long. But you see, if you mislead yourself like that, it can really be a big hinder. And actually, our minds are constantly having 24/7, big time universal conversation. Just get that word today. I mean, I had to use that because I'm thinking if I use that word, that's another word to use. But people know, I always say that 24/7 the mind is ticking. But let's call it what it is. They are they're interuniversal conversations. Call it what it is, because it would be wise for us to incorporate conscious meditation so that we can really be in true spiritual practices. See, conscious meditation offers us so much more valuable insights into thoughts, ideas, and all that, and desires. Let me tell you what unconscious meditation causes: fear. Because when you glaze over, you just had a crazy thought that suppose so-and-so gets hurt, or suppose I have an accident, or suppose I don't get that interview, or suppose, you see what happens? That's unconscious meditation. You do it 24/7 if your life is in a mess right now. All you got to do is to tell the difference between whether or not you are conscious meditation or unconsciously meditating. All you got to do is look at your life. Plain and simple. See, I have observed my life. And what I have observed was that so much good in my life is due to these universal conversations that I understand and know that come to me. Now, for example, about October or so, I remember having a conversation about it would be nice for me to have more time in front of people talking about Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte. You know what happened? I go to one of the meetings where I always give my little speech about me and who I am, what I do, and the whole bit. And a young lady was in that audience. That young lady came up to me later and said, "You are so powerful. I would like for you to come and speak here." You know, that is just me observing that the conversation I have, I'm aware of. If you don't have those conversations, please start having them. Jackie, for example, she's not here today because she wasn't feeling well yesterday. And she was telling me that she's not feeling well. But I'm going to tell you something. I had maybe about a month ago, I observed myself having a conversation about it would be so great to have someone who's technically savvy, who knows what I know about Facebook, probably more. I'm not ashamed about not knowing everything. No, brains belong on tap, not always on top. I don't need to say, oh, I know it all. No, if someone else knows it, that would be great. This was our conversation between Rosedale and Rosedale. You got to know these inner universal conversations are not being had for nothing. Then all of a sudden, Jackie comes and she joins. And she and I have been talking ever since. See, in my spiritual practices, I know I am aligned with my higher consciousness. And besides, it's so much easier to commit to my own spiritual practices because a lot of times I'm holding myself accountable to something or someone most of the time. I get to create classes here at CSL Charlotte, so I have to prep. Sometimes I don't feel like doing it, but I have to hold myself accountable. You don't always feel like doing it. Sometimes I have to do choreograph for fitness classes that I'm doing. I got to work out to do that. Sometimes I don't feel like doing that, but I know that I have to stay accountable to these people that I'm going to get in front of because they need me to give them some cues to what to do that day. That's why they pay me to do this. So come on. Get with it, Rosedale. See, I have to stay up to date with the latest scientific truths because I love being accountable. Because I love being accountable to people, I love doing what I do, research. So what happens is being prepared makes me better and better every day. So just know this, at CSL Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte, we have classes that keep us on top of our lives. So in the announcements in the upcoming weeks, you're going to hear some classes that are about to come, and you're going to know how to register for them, and you're going to know how to come on. Because I'm getting a lot of great questions from our people that are asking me a lot of questions about things. And I said, that's a good answer. That's a good question. I'll give them a nice little answer. Maybe you should start coming to some of the classes that'll come. Oh, you're going to have classes? Yes. So just know that. I'm just saying that. Because you see, what happens is when you're in class, life works. You make certain commitments, because one of the things you do is you let go of habits that no longer serve you after a while. You start to say, it makes sense that I should get rid of these habits that I have. Because why? That's another universal conversation. So you're sitting there listening to the group, the team, even in the consciousness meeting, you're not getting all of the juice yet. You're just talking. But when you get really good at this stuff in the consciousness meeting, it starts to set like a gel for you. And you become totally unlimited because you've got the class going on. You've got people constantly giving you things and advice, and you can hear, not advice, but you can hear from them. You can choose that to be your advice. By investing in yourself, you are laying the foundation of an extraordinary, powerfully filled life, all through your own inner universal conversations. So when you come to the class, you just make sure that in between each one of those classes every week, you get prepared because the secrets to your success are always revealed through those universal conversations. And you have those better universal conversations when you have better information. So the classes get you the information. Boom, boom. So with spiritual practices, you will begin to understand the journey of spiritual awakening. I gotta remember my title. So the power to shape us remarkably is right in here. There's no God up there that you're talking to, so don't get into that. Because there is a concept of spiritual awakening. And it's all about transformation, and it's all interlaced in everybody's life when we all come together. Okay? But look at this. this next song, but before I tell you that, I just want to say this sentence. Here's what I learned about my life so far and my inner universal conversations. I learned that they're so enlightening. I've learned that they're so empowering. So, this upcoming song is going to be like a guiding light, and it's going to illumine our journey for us before we even think about where we're going tomorrow. You got to be looking ahead, right? We're going to illumine that path with faith and resilience, and then we're going to engage tomorrow, and maybe as we leave the service today, we're going to engage more in our inner universal conversations, because this song is going to get you to understand that. Please let this song, hear this song, and when you listen to her say you, who's she talking to? And if she says God, who is she talking to? Where is God? We started from God is. Now we're going to take it there. So reflect on our next song, You Say, really reflect, by Lauren Daigle. Oh, I believe. That is an awesome example of universal conversations. Did you hear her sing? You say, I am loved when I can't feel a thing. Did you hear her say, you say I am strong when I think I am weak. Oh my goodness, it's time to take pride in your inner universal conversations. I can't even say the word. I'm so excited about that song. I mean, all weekend I've been playing that song in my car over and over and over and over. And I said, I know who you're talking to. You are having an inner universal conversation. Just giving you a hint. So besides, it's only you and God in there. Get some power. Get to do it. And thank you, Timmy P, for that fabulous set of announcements. I couldn't have said it better. So that all being said, everyone. Oh, and here's another thing I'd like to say. A community that prays together stays together, because prayer is very good, but it's not the only thing, but it's very good. Okay, just like affirmations, it's just like meditation, you need it all. Okay, you need everything. You need exercise, you need it all. But anyway, Mo, thank you so much for being the person to be able to send them back whenever they come in your email. So this is the time we talk about birthdays. So you pretty much know that I don't know your birthday. I like to say that, so I say, what do I usually say here? All right, so just jot down your birthday in the comments here. If you're looking at our YouTube, I notice a lot of people are on YouTube now. What is it called? Timmy P explained it to me. It's called like the channel. And I'm knowing that our team is out there liking the channel and subscribing. That's what it's called, subscribing. So subscribe. I don't have to be technically savvy for you to get that, But anyway, put your birthday in the comments, right? And now it's time for me to do my big gratitude shout outs, to the platform team. And we got our fabulous and not infamous and notorious Reverend Catherine, the woman who has taken my hand from all the time while I was in ministerial school and had me at her home studying and getting my classes and my exams and all that great stuff. That was Reverend Catherine, who was our MC. So I thank her for that all the time, but I thank her for being here and actually doing this, because she loves CSL Charlotte. And also, opening and closing prayer person was our Reverend Karen. She's another person. Everybody came from a long way with me, and I think it's just fantastic. So, but thank you to Reverend Karen and Melissa, our reader, and our spotlighter, and our greeter. She does all that stuff. That one little woman does all that, right? So thank you, Melissa. And then for the music and the announcements, you know who that was. That was our pilot, Timmy P. He does it. He rocks it. He makes sure we get it. He backs up everything I said. I mentioned something about classes, and he jumped right in there and decided what he would put. I got every word everybody says. So good. And then I call her our technology coordinator. That's Groovy G, aka Jerry Campbell. It's supposed to be the other way around, but you know me. I do what I want to do. So anyway, Groovy G, she's the cleanup woman, but she makes sure that all of our sounds are good. And when I can see her, I can tell she ain't liking something or she's liking it. But I couldn't see her today, but that's all good. So anyway, greeting and spotlighting has been awesome. So thank you, Melissa, and all of us. So okay, now before we close out, remember that today was all about the journey of spiritual awakening. But make sure you prioritize your spiritual practice and fully embrace the journey of spiritual awakening. Because here's the deal, you need time to reflect on how much better things are going to be when certain projects are done, when certain issues are taken care of, when some condition in your life has changed. Take time to reflect on how it's going to be when it's done. Don't just sit there and suffer with it and go, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Move on. Get that spiritual awakening into you. And so when you listen to this next song, you know that you need to uplift, Timmy P says, up level your emotions. And a smile always makes you up level your emotions. So as you take in this last song before Reverend Karen prays us out, make yourself the happy new you, because that is what you are. So with this last song, please leave here with a big old smile. I smile. You look so much better when you smile. It's so hard to look up when you've been down, even though you're in it for a while. So smile. Yes, indeed. So everybody, smile. I can't see you because I know you probably are. And I know Groovy's going, oh, oh, oh. I can just imagine her. See, I just have to remember what everybody normally does. And so that's how it gets me going. And so that's what I know. What do I do next? No. I love me. You know, it's tough being me. So that said, Reverend Karen, it's time for you to pray us out, sister.
Oh, Reverend Rosedale, we love you too. And smile. Oh my God, yes. Let's go into this prayer as a unified smile of our hearts, knowing that the message gave us so much to think about, so much to contemplate on, and so many things to set our intention on this week. And one of those is the universal conversations that Reverend Rosedale talked about. And that really hit me squarely in my universal conversation heart, because looking at life, looking at our decisions, looking at how we see our journey starting, it starts in our mind. It starts with those universal conversations that act like our GPS, that set us on our course. Now we can have beautiful conversations if we have conversations that are acting like that. No, don't take that route, take this route. You're confused, don't get in the car, don't start your journey, blah, 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 blah. They can be replaced with you are beautiful. Smile because you are amazing. You are a child of God. And in this prayer for myself and for all of us today, I would like us to end this service with knowing that our universal conversations are on a positive note, that they are beautiful and they are filled with affirmations of love for each and every one of us, knowing that we are special, that we are the universal conversation of love and happiness and joy as we start our spiritual journeys, because every single moment of our life is the start of a universal spiritual journey, and we are all on it, and it is beautiful, and it is our GPS system is working perfectly through our hearts. And in Thanksgiving, I'd like to say, as I close this prayer with each and every one of us joined together, that it is in the manifestation of God's heart, the universal law, and together we say, and so it is.
And so it is, Reverend Karen. You are phenomenal. I love the way you close out, just remembering things. It is a good thing because you let us know what you got from the talk and the whole service, and then people on YouTube get a chance to see and hear what you found out. So thank you so much, Reverend Karen, for your prayer.